Welcome to LA's Listening Lounge with stories you can hear and words you can feel. Tonight, we're stepping into a journey of heartbreak, healing, and rediscovering self-love. When love hurts more than it heals, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is choose you. This is To Be Happy, a soulful tale inspired by the longing we've all felt, to be seen, to be valued, and to find a love that's truly ours. Take a breath, settle in, and may this story remind you that the greatest love story begins within. Now, let's begin. Maya could tell Derek really thought he had scored points with her, but the reality, his words hit like a wet towel against flesh. They stung. Maya heard and saw something she either missed or refused to see. Arrogance. He still saw himself as the prize and doing her a favor by keeping her around. In that moment, Maya's piece started waving the white flag while screaming, "Abort mission now." Chapter 1. The Mirror Moment. Rain tapped softly against the window as Maya sat before her vanity, mascara streaking down her cheeks. "How can I love somebody else if I can't love myself enough?" she whispered, staring into her reflection. For years, she'd poured everything into Derek. His dreams, his deadlines, his happiness. Hers had gone missing somewhere in the process. Tonight she realized the truth she'd been avoiding. Loving someone who didn't value her wasn't love, it was loneliness disguised as devotion. After a few minutes of staring at the faded black streaks beneath her eyes leading to her chin, Maya's phone buzzed with group messages from friends she hadn't seen in ages because of Derek. She scrolled through their cheerful banter, feeling distant, but also a flicker of longing. She missed hanging out with them, laughing, chatting, and just enjoying life. She hadn't been herself in so long. Her own interests buried beneath Derek's schedule and demands. Did she even know what truly made her happy, or what she enjoyed doing for fun anymore? She racked her brain in search of the last time she had a girl's day out, or did something that made her happy. Realizing it had been longer than her mind was willing to go back, Maya decided to let it go for peace of mind. Maya was watching Diary of a Mad Black Woman while listening to the rain tap against her living room windows. She wondered if her Orlando would ever show up, or whether she was doomed to keep meeting Charles. They all seemed to always be the same spirit, just in a different body. As she snuggled her pink blanket tighter, her mind began to settle. For over a week she had been in a mood and could not place her finger on the why. All she knew was something was brewing, and it was not the coffee she was drinking. The tears fell watching Helen run through the steel warehouse to reclaim her man. She cried like it was the first time seeing this scene in the movie. Maya decided, in the spirit of Representative Maxine Waters, she decided to reclaim her time, her personal time. After all, it was past time she started thinking about herself. As the rain slowed, Maya felt it mirrored her inner turmoil, gradually easing, giving way to a fragile quiet. She took a deep breath, wiped away her tears, and resolved to start asking herself what she wanted, for the first time in years. Chapter 2. The Prayer. The next morning, Maya knelt at the edge of her bed, whispering, "God, thank you for another day of life. Thank you for the courage you've placed inside of me. I know that I am more than a conqueror through you. I know you are concerned about me. I'm leaning into your word, Jeremiah 29:11. I know you have plans for my life, and those plans are for me to prosper. I know you are about to make a shift in my life. Please give me a sign it's you." Maya made her bed, showered, and put on a hunter green sweater, jeans, and tan Michael Kors ankle boots. She headed to the kitchen to prepare a light breakfast. The house was silent, except for the faint hum of the heater. After eating her breakfast, she went to her home office and began working on an old business plan she had for an interior design business she'd put on hold for Derek. Later that day, she walked past a bookstore and saw a display reading, "Healing Starts Here." Inside, she found a journal titled, "Be Happy." She bought it impulsively. Something about it gave her the energy she needed to take the first steps to her new journey. On the first page, she wrote, "Today, I choose me." That night, as she wrote in her new journal, Derek texted her, "We need to talk." But instead of panicking, she breathed. For the first time, she wasn't afraid of what came next. She knew this was the brew she had been feeling for the past few weeks. Maya laid the journal onto her bedside table, thinking about the promise she'd made to herself. That evening, she doodled hearts and one-word affirmations in the margins, letting her mind take flight. She wrote down 3 wishes for herself: to laugh without guilt, to reconnect with old friends, and to travel alone just once. The journal felt like a seed, small but full of possibility, a possibility that was not as intimidating as it was last week. When Derek's second text arrived asking her to meet for dinner, she simply closed her eyes, letting the anxiety ebb away, replaced by quiet determination. No matter what came next, she would keep her 3 wishes neatly tucked into her heart. Chapter 3. It's official. 3 days later, while at dinner, Derek confessed he wanted space because he was not happy anymore. Maya nodded quietly, although her discernment told her it was coming. The sting was still sharp. "You've had all the space to be happy," she said softly, so only she would hear. "You just never noticed I wasn't in it or a part of it anymore." Maya found herself willing the tears to stay hidden behind her eyes. She would rather jump into the middle of the ocean with no life jacket before letting him see one single tear fall from her eyes. "Well, do you have anything to say? Any questions?" Maya heard Derek ask. She was caught off guard by his request. He had never cared to ask if she had a thought or opinion regarding anything, and now he was making room for her to contribute. It was the fake look on Derek's face coupled with his gaslighting statement for her. It almost made her give him some choice words, and none were "I pray you have a blessed life." Instead, Maya searched her mind like she was on an interview for a job she now regretted applying for, but wanted to still finish strong. "I think space would be great for both of us," was the most polite and non-confrontational statement she could get out. She summoned the waiter and paid for both meals and began to gather her purse and coat. "Is that it?" Derek asked, looking confused. It was just like him to expect Maya to fall all over herself to determine why he was so unhappy. Maya took a long look at him, still fighting back tears, and said, "I want nothing more than happiness, and I am okay with us walking away in order to achieve that." Maya walked towards the door before allowing Derek to go full narcissist by blaming her for his need for space. Walking home alone, Maya allowed tears to flow. She cried, but they weren't tears of loss or one of no hope. They were a release from all the pressure she had been under to keep Derek happy while denying herself. All that time she thought he really loved her, all the while questioning if her love was enough. Love shouldn't make you question your worth. It should make you see it more clearly. She realized this wasn't the end, it was the beginning of her becoming. She was entering a new phase of life, but was not 100% sure where it would take her. Stopping at a park bench, Maya let the cool night air calm her. A stray cat approached, rubbing its head against her leg. She smiled, offering it a gentle stroke. The simple encounter reminded her of the joy in small, unscripted moments. She decided to call her sister, whose number she hadn't dialed in months. "He wanted space?" Maya heard her sister Gigi ask. "Please." "I would give him so much space he would swear I moved there the next time he tried to contact me, the nerve." Maya was tickled by her sister's response to the breakup. "Thank you, sis. I needed that laugh," Maya said as she crossed the street. They talked about childhood memories and favorite foods, Maya's laughter echoing across the empty street as she walked home, lighter than before. Chapter 4. The Healing Playlist. Weeks passed, and Maya traded late-night arguments for candlelight journaling. Every page began with a lyric. "All I really want is to be happy." She started jogging in the mornings, meeting her friend Leah for coffee, and taking herself on solo dates. Slowly, laughter returned. When Be Happy came on the radio, she didn't cry. She sang, off-key, but with conviction. Healing, she learned, isn't loud. It's steady. It's silent victories in the mirror. Maya created 2 playlists to help her stay strong through the process. One was titled Joyful Noise, and the other was Goodbye Grooves, both filled with songs that made her feel alive. She tried painting, rediscovering old hobbies, and found herself joining a local hot yoga class. Some evenings she watched the sunset from her balcony, jotting down 5 things she was grateful for. Each journal entry revealed a new piece of herself. She even baked a cake for Leah's birthday, laughing hysterically when it collapsed in the oven. It was imperfect, but it was hers. One evening, Maya was working on a painting while listening to her Goodbye Grooves playlist. The song Fool's Gold by Jill Scott was playing, and at that moment, the lyrics hit home. She had heard them before, but it was something about that moment. It resonated so deeply with her in confirming she had truly made the right choice by letting go of any hope of a reconciliation with Derek. She refused to continue to be a fool in love, but instead what the Bible speaks of in Isaiah the 26th chapter and the 3rd verse. That night she wrote in her journal and prayed, "God, I trust you to protect my heart and most of all my peace." Chapter 5, The Return. Just when peace felt permanent, Derek called. Maya was surprised by the call. After all, it had been 6 months since they last spoke. His voice was soft, full of apologies. "I messed up Maya," he said. "I know I don't deserve it, but can we try again?" Maya hesitated, old feelings flickered, but so did her new strength. As they talked about the last 6 months of life, Maya could tell Derek had done some self-work. He sounded empathetic and attentive to what she had to say. "Derek, if I give you one more try," she asked, "will you finally abide by the rules? Will you respect boundaries and consider me, my wants and needs?" Derek quickly swore he would, because he had grown since their breakup. She ended the call by saying she needed time to process, and she would let him know her final decision. Derek was happy to give Maya time and was just thankful it was not an immediate no. That night, Maya wrote herself a reminder in the journal. "If it costs my peace, it's too expensive." Derek sent flowers the next day, along with a note promising change. Maya placed them in a vase, watching them bloom as she pondered his words. She met with Leah to talk it through, sipping chamomile tea while considering her next steps. The answer was clear. Her peace was non-negotiable. She responded to Derek's messages with honesty and boundaries, realizing that real love required mutual respect, not sacrifice. Chapter 6. Love Redefined. 3 months had passed, and Derek was still consistent with phone calls and text messages, but his actions were no longer aligned with the words he spoke. Maya felt Derek was not putting action behind his words, because he had never done so when it came to her. Although she believed he had grown as a man, he had not grown when it came to her. He was used to her putting in more effort to make it work. Derek did not realize she was no longer that woman. She had zero desire to work overtime, let alone the double overtime Derek's lack of action was starting to require. "Derek, it has been 3 months, and I have not seen any real change as it pertains to how you handle me," Maya said as she packed for her upcoming art show. "What do you mean?" "I was trying to let you prepare for your upcoming show, so I laid back so I would not distract you." Maya could tell Derek really thought he had scored points with her. But the reality? His words hit like a wet towel against flesh. They stung. Maya heard and saw something she either missed or refused to see. Arrogance. He still saw himself as the prize, and doing her a favor by keeping her around. In that moment, Maya's peace started waving the white flag while screaming, "Abort mission now." Without even a second thought, Maya knew it was time to move one. She no longer had the energy or desire to make it work. It just was not worth her sacrificing herself once again for a man who had shown her time and time again just how he saw her. "Derek, the fact that we are ever discussing this subject again is a sign that we are just not meant to be a couple. Don't get me wrong, we are not enemies, but we are no longer compatible as it pertains to being a couple." Maya was a little surprised by how easily the words flowed, and she did not feel bad about it. The old her would have danced around the topic so Derek would be okay. Yes, she wanted him to be okay, but her priority was now herself. "I'm not sure I understand. You are the woman I see myself with, Maya. Don't give up on us so quickly." "Derek, you need to be honest with yourself. You see yourself with a woman like me, but it is not me. I never taught you how to treat me, and it would not be fair to hold you hostage to what I now require." "What do you require that I am not giving?" Maya answered with one simple word: action. She assured Derek she was not upset, and was glad they had revisited the idea of trying again. It provided the closure needed so they could both move on and find what happiness truly looked like for them. The next morning, Maya flew to Austin, Texas to attend Art Austin's collection of galleries, museums, and art spaces. It had been on her bucket list since she took an interest in freelance painting. After landing, she checked into her hotel and went to Magnolia, a local coffee shop, to grab a bite to eat. She ordered the mag salad with grilled chicken and pulled out her journal. As Maya waited for her food, she dumped the last 24 hours of her life into writing. She felt a mix of emotions, but the one she felt the most was assurance. She was assured and thankful that God had once again kept his promise to her. He had protected her heart and her peace. Chapter 7. Happiness Without Warning. Maya was up early, exploring the city of Austin before heading over to the exhibits. She was in awe of how beautiful and vibrant downtown was. There were people everywhere, laughing, talking, taking pictures, making memories, and obviously happy. Maya pulled out her camera and recorded the scenery. As she scanned the crowd and buildings, she accidentally bumped into something. She felt herself quickly falling and suddenly caught all at the same time. "My apologies. I did not see you. Are you all right?" Maya heard the deep voice say as it assisted her to her feet. "No, my apologies to you. I should have paid better attention to what I was doing, Maya answered, now seeing who saved her from the pavement. He was distracting, but in a good way. He was the perfect height, weight, and smelled like a glazed donut freshly out the oven. Delicious. It was hard for Maya to stay focused. Are you sure you're all right? The sight for sore eyes asked again. Yes, I am all right. Are you all right? Maya started to feel flushed. It had been forever since she even noticed a man, let alone felt attracted to one. Yes, I'm good. I guess I was in a hurry to get to the Y Black Museum symposium, he offered with a chuckle. Something in Maya fluttered. She too planned to attend the same symposium. Really, I'm headed that way too, she offered. Do you mind walking together? I'm here on a solo trip for Art Austin, and it would be nice to have company. Maya did not hesitate and gladly accepted the invitation. By the way, my name is Elijah. They both chuckled. My name is Maya. They learned a lot about each other during the short 10-minute walk. They lived an hour away from each other, were both new to the art world, not afraid to solo travel, and most importantly, single as a dollar bill. They sat together during the lecture and explored the exhibit together. As they talked about each piece, Maya noticed Elijah's kind eyes, soft laugh, a quiet confidence that didn't demand attention but earned it. She was happy for the slip and fall that brought them together. Even if it would only be for her short stay in Austin, she was going to enjoy every minute by living in the moment and not overthinking it. For the rest of her stay, she and Elijah were together each day. They met for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It was a short 3 days, but long enough to ignite the possibility of her newfound friendship growing into something more. Chapter 8. Let It Breathe. 2 days after returning from Austin, Elijah invited Maya to attend a community mural project close to his home. She accepted his invitation and thought about their chance encounter. He didn't just rescue her from the pavement. She was convinced God placed him there just for her, the perfect timing of it all. And for that she was thankful. After the project, they grabbed lunch. They talked about everything under the sun. Talking to him was easy for Maya. She did not feel the need to be attentive to him in the same way she did with Derek. Elijah made her feel seen and heard. No pressure to convince him of who she was and why he needed her in his life. Elijah asked her a question that slightly caught her off guard. What has been the biggest challenge for you over the last 12 months, and what have you done to overcome it? Maya did not have to think long. The answer came easily, now that she was free. To be happy, and to find a love that's mine. She went on, to explain she was now in a place to know love was something that starts within, and one should never depend on a person, place, or thing to make and keep. Happiness? She was only able to overcome by reinforcing her relationship with God and leaning into the true meaning of love and happiness, and not the version Al Green sang about. Elijah continued to invite Maya to join him at various events. She happily spent afternoons painting alongside strangers who quickly became friends, each brushstroke a testament of renewal. Their conversations were gentle and honest. Elijah asked about her dreams, listened and laughed with her, not at her. When Maya told him her story, he simply held her hand, promising nothing but his presence. She realized that love, at its best, was quiet encouragement, not dramatic rescue. She knew happiness wasn't something Elijah could give her. It was something she had already found. That night, Maya opened her journal and began to revisit her secret notes that was just between she and God. I just want to be happy, she read aloud. But the answer lies in me. She smiled. The journey hadn't been about finding the perfect man. It had been about finding the peace within. Loving herself was the prerequisite to loving someone else fully. And finally she could. Chapter 9. Learning to Live Again. Maya started volunteering at a women's shelter, sharing pieces of her story while teaching the healing through painting and interior design. Through the act of giving, she found new strength. Her genuine conversations with the women echoed her path: struggle, self-doubt, and ultimately hope. She hosted small gatherings at local community river market, offering space for laughter and healing. Each day, Maya's confidence grew, her happiness rooted deeper inside, unaffected by the storms outside. Months later, Maya hosted a podcast episode titled Choosing Joy. Her voice was calm, seasoned by everything she'd survived. Life's too short to play games with your peace, she said into the mic. When you love yourself right, you attract love that feels right. As the outro played, Maya watched the rain fall. This time, it sounded like rhythm to her heart, not sadness. Her podcast resonated with listeners who wrote in to share their own stories. Maya responded to each message with heartfelt encouragement, building a community of support and hope. She began planning a retreat focused on self-love, gathering women from all walks of life. The rainy evenings became moments for reflection, not regret. Maya found joy in simplicity. Warm tea, quiet music, a game of Sudoku, the gentle company of people who understood her journey. The epilogue. A year later, Maya stood at her book signing. On the table, All I Really Want, A Journey to Happiness. The crowd applauded as she said, "This book isn't about heartbreak, it's about breakthrough." She smiled, feeling the warmth of everything she'd become. The lesson was clear. She had prayed for love and peace, but God gave her herself first, and that made all the difference. As Maya signed the last copy, she spotted familiar faces in the crowd. Leah, Elijah, women from the shelter, and loyal podcast listeners. Each shared a story of their own healing. Maya realized her journey was never about her, but rather God getting the glory through her. It had sparked others to begin their journey of healing, and Maya would go through it all again to help the next woman if she had to. She closed the evening with gratitude, knowing her story was never just hers. It was a ripple, spreading joy and hope outward, rain or shine. Thank you for listening to LA's Listening Lounge, where healing sounds like a whisper, and transformation feels like a heartbeat. Tonight we followed Maya, not just through heartbreak, but through rebirth. Because happiness isn't found in someone else's hands, it starts the moment you decide you're worthy of it. If this story touched you, if you've ever had to choose peace over pain or self-love over settling, drop a heart in the comments. Tell me your favorite moment and share this story with someone who needs the reminder. You deserve joy, you deserve love, you deserve to be happy. Until next time, keep listening, keep healing, and keep believing. This is LA Logan signing off with stories you can hear and words you can feel.